up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly.
Hi there everyone, and welcome to today's Values Assembly. Let's get this going in the usual way. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, and together we will. And our everyday focuses are, and our Stukeley motto is, and our Stukeley curriculum is, and 4 words that make the magic happen. Excellent. Well, welcome to our assembly today. It's a bit of a grey day outside as I'm filming this, but never mind. Hopefully this assembly will brighten up your day if it's needed today. Well, last week we talked about our care value, if you can remember, and some children in Maple class were so inspired by looking after a little bit of the planet, as we talked about, that they drew pictures and even created a model of their ideas for recycling and looking after the environment. So let's show you who they are. Here they are. Can you see? So a big shout out there to Lily and to Alice and to Isabella. Well done, especially Alice there. Look on that marvellous recycling model that she made. Really well done to those girls, and I'm glad that you enjoyed that assembly in particular. Now this week we are thinking about our create value. And as I kind of pondered that and thought about it, I asked myself this question: what does it mean to create, and what does that look like in terms of our school? When we say create, what do we mean? Now, we might consider some of these images that I'm going to show you to be some examples of creativity. If I think of create, I think of the idea of creativity. So I'm going to show you some examples, and let's see if you agree with me. So, example number 1. Here we go. Can you see that okay? I wonder if any of you recognise that picture. It is a particularly famous one. And then this one, another very famous work of art. If you like, you can pause that as a class and see if anyone can name those. So really famous, those 2 images. There are lots I could have chosen to have shown you. The first image was by Van Gogh, and that's called Starry Night, really, really famous. And the second was by Da Vinci, and that was the Mona Lisa. Although I do have to say, when I actually went to see the Mona Lisa hanging in the Louvre Gallery in Paris, in France, it was a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, because it's worth so much money. I kind of expected it to be big, but it was really small. But anyway, that's just an aside. I'm going to show you another award-winning, prize-winning, in fact, work of art. Let me just show you. Wonder what you make of that one. Let me show you another award-winning, prize-winning work of art. Hope you can see that okay. So I wonder what you make of those 2 images. They're actually art installations, so those are just images of obviously a 3D kind of model, so installation. I wonder what you made of them. I wonder if you consider those to be art. The first one looked a bit like the mess that we leave behind having gotten out of bed late, doesn't it? But I wonder what you think of them. If you want to pause now, you can, but you don't have to talk about those particular works of art. The first one there, the bed one, or the unmade bed, is by Tracy Emin. And the second of the kind of sharks suspended there in a tank is by Damien Hirst. And both of them have won prizes for their art creations, very prestigious prizes, no less. If I'm really honest, I'm not really sure that I like either of those particularly. And I certainly don't think I really understand them. But it did make me think. It made me think that being creative isn't just about creating pictures. It can be about looking at things differently, perhaps seeing the world through different eyes, not just sort of looking at things in the same way everyone else does, maybe not kind of doing things in the same way everyone else does, or in the way that it necessarily has always been done. So I think people like Damien Hirst, the guy with the shark, and Tracy Emin, the lady that did that unmade bed installation, perhaps they are pretty good at thinking about art outside of the box and not just doing things the way everybody else does. Over the last year, I think we've had to be pretty creative, all of us, in lots of situations, whether it's at home or how we do family life. And we've also had to do that at school here, haven't we? And it made me think of when, all the way back to last March, when we knew that school was due to close and we needed to hold our Easter egg raffle. Does anyone remember that far back? And we were thinking, well, how on earth are we going to do it? We can't get everybody in the hall because everyone's got to kind of distance and keep apart from each other. And we can't have children running around too much. How are we going to do it? So we did it over Zoom. Do you remember? And we tried that again this year. So we had to be creative. We had to think outside of the box. Trying to do school and stuff with COVID around was really tricky, and it's meant we've had to be creative. I'm sure you and your families have had to be creative about how you've done birthdays and how you've done special family celebrations, maybe even how you've spoken to grandmas and grandpas when things were kind of locked down and we weren't able to go very far. So despite the fact that the last year might have been very, very difficult, I guess it has promoted or encouraged us to be a little bit more creative. And as we've gone on, I think we've thought, more and more about how we can do things differently and whether the things that we've now done differently, we should continue to do in that different way, even though I guess the different way has now become the norm. Is everyone following what I mean by that? So it's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes really difficult circumstances can force us to create things and to be creative and to do things in different ways and to think about things in different ways. I wonder if you've had to be creative over recent months or maybe even fairly recently. Perhaps you've been working on a creative type project. Perhaps we talked about this way back when we were talking about keeping our minds as well as our bodies healthy, didn't we? We said about being creative as being a really good way of keeping our minds healthy. So perhaps you've begun a kind of creative art type project. Maybe you've been writing poems or stories over recent months. Maybe you've been creating music or playing an instrument or learning a new language. I don't know. Perhaps you've just had to be, or maybe you've been creative perhaps in other ways. And by all means, as a class, you can talk about that if you'd like to. Lots of us, though, might not consider ourselves to be very creative. And if I'm really honest, I'd probably put myself in that boat. And if you don't consider yourself to be creative, I wonder why you think that. Why do you think you're not creative? I wonder what holds us back. A famous thinker once said that it's impossible to be creative or to create anything without taking a risk. And it would be good perhaps to talk about what that might actually mean. I think it probably means that we have to risk getting things wrong or things not going quite right in order to get to success. So sometimes things will go wrong, but unless they go wrong, we probably won't be able to fix them in order to get it right in the end. And it might also mean that being creative is about thinking differently and about doing things differently. Not just doing what everybody else does is actually pretty risky, isn't it? What if people laugh at you? What if they tell you that your idea or your art or your song is no good? It's a risk, isn't it? We risk being knocked back. But most of us, you see, most of us don't really want to be that different, do we? Most of us want to be accepted. Most of us just want to fit in. And a lot of people that are highly successful in the creative field say that that kind of thinking is the enemy of creativity. So I was thinking about that. So my challenge to all of you this week is to learn to take a risk. Not a risk by being silly when you're crossing the road, not a risk by doing something dangerous, I don't mean like that, but taking a risk creatively. Take the risk to think differently, not just thinking that way because all your friends do. Taking a risk to do things differently. Taking a risk to kind of make some art or make up a dance or compose some music or write a song or a poem or a story, I don't know, all those things that maybe you think you're not much good at. But we are a school who creates. So I wonder, what could you create this week? And as always, any marvelous creative ideas that you have, and it might just be an idea of how to do something. Think about those girls that I showed you at the beginning who made that model and had those great ideas for saving the planet and being really good recyclers for our school. Think about that. That was creativity. So what could you create this week? And by all means, you can send me your pictures, you can tell me about it, you can scribble something down on a piece of paper, you can speak to your teacher and they can email me, whatever it is. We are a school who creates, so I would love to see how we can all be creative this week. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and see you soon.
Thanks, Mrs. Stevens, for another Tuesday Value Starter. Shout out, first of all, to last week's Netball of the Week, Olivia. Great work, Olivia. Birthday shout outs, got a couple today. Happy birthday Alfie in year 6 and Leah in year 5. Happy birthday to both of you. Hopefully you've already celebrated with family and friends today. Another year older. Keep up the great Stukeley work. Maths updates. It's a Tuesday after all. Who's been doing lots of maths? Jam is stored in jars. Who's been calculating lots on numbots and TT Rockstars? Who's been doing lots of maths? Jam is stored in jars. Who's been calculating lots on numbots and TT Rockstars? Let's have a little look at how we've been getting on in numbots and Rockstars. I know the foot's coming off the pedal a little bit, but what I can say is, well done to Matthew, Aaliyah, Bowen, Amanda, Reese and Grace. Top 6 in the foundation stage this week. Juniper got 11,714 points. Rowan got 11,594. Oh, they just missed out. Well done, Juniper, for taking that there. Year 1, Numbots, top 6 players. Freddie, Sadie, Zara, Emily Rose, Maya, Oscar. Top work, you 6. 27,695 for Magnolia. Cherry only got 6,481. Oh man, that is a result for Magnolia. Come on, Cherry. Oh, it's year 2. It's always exciting in year 2. I've never, ever, ever seen it this close. This is genuinely incredible. Maple class, 14,326. Pine class, 14,339. They take it by only 13 points. That is incredible. Well done, Pine. Top 6 players, Leon, Toby, Max, Olivia, Elsie and Benjamin. Ben, well done you guys. Year 3. Will Willow finally get it? No is the answer. I may as well just tell you. Willow, 7,958. Lime, 11,246. Sophie, Rose, Bo, Adam, Robbie, Harry, the top 6 players there. Year 4, we've got the top 6 players as Amy, Alan, Noah, Berwin, Joseph, Jasper. 6,324 for Birch, 6,099 for Acacia. Birch take it, well done Birch. Year 5s, numbers not too bad this week. 5,395 for Beach. 8,095 chestnut, you take it, well done chestnutters. Top 6 players, Tashina, Eloise, Sophia, Ava, Christian, Igor. Top work, you 6. And finally, year 6. Now last week was residential, so everybody took their foot off a bit, but thank you Robert, Nathaniel, Jessica, Vishal, George and Malik for keeping the flag flying. Only 1,184 for Sycamore, 1,266 for Oak. Got lamination, everyone. We love a bit of lamination, and it's a superb one because Sunuli in year 2 has got her rock hero. Now you shouldn't really be getting rock hero in year 2 because that is an incredibly rapid time, but it's there, and Mrs. Page tells me Sunuli is a superstar, so she joins Leon as a rock hero in year 2. Well done, Sunuli. Just before, should we do... I wonder if we should do this now or in most important 60 seconds. I'll tell you what, let's do it in most important 60 seconds. See you on the other side.
The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now.
Eat healthy. I'm telling you to try and eat healthy. Your families tell you to try and eat healthy. Your teachers and the staff in school tell you to try and eat healthy. And Chef Richard tells you to try and eat healthy. Those of you that have been in the dinner hall lately, I'm not sure if this has managed to come out to classrooms, but in the dinner hall, we've been talking about evil vegetables. Evil vegetables, and we've got to eat them to defeat them. And we've had a bit of fun with this. We put some on the Twitter last week. Chef Richard and the kitchen team are trying to get us to eat those evil veg. Eat them to defeat them. And we've seen a great selection of evil vegetables. Now here's a little pepper. Look, I mean, this is superb. Okay, this is one example of the evil vegetables. We need to eat them to defeat them. If you're in the dinner hall this week, and I'll see if we can get some of it out to classrooms as well. I'll talk to Chef Richard about that. Try something new. Try something new from the fruit and veg selection that the kitchen are putting out. You might like it, and it gives you more ideas at home. Have a great day, everyone.